Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am.
Okay, dear student, Jitendra Tapaswini, ଦୁଇ ଜଣ join କରିଛ?
हाँ मैम.
Piranchi Narayan Das join. Okay, we will wait for 5 minutes. Then we will start our class. Okay.
Good evening, madam.
Good evening, sir. Okay, ଆମେ ଟିକେ preliminary discussion କରୁଥିବା. Let others to join us within 5 minutes. Last time ଆମେ discussion କରିଥିଲେ ଆମର ଏଇଟା 34034 code ଥିଲା paper ର, but what I was informed that ଏଇଟା change ହେଇଯାଇଛି ଏଇ session ରେ, code ହେଇଯାଇଛି 134. Is it? Is it?
हाँ मैम.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, madam.
Okay, so this time we will again discuss the block one. Again, we will discuss what contents are there in 134 code paper of MA education. Then we will go by one block. Okay. So I am presenting. Let others to join. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me try again. Sorry. Okay. Okay, is it okay now? Is it visible to all?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Okay, so we'll proceed. ଆମର ଯୋଉ ପେପରଟା ଏବେ ହେଲା ପେପର କୋଡ୍ ହେଲା MES-134 MA Education ର କୋର୍ସ. The course name also changed, that is design, development and delivery of courseware. So ଆମେ ଯାହା ବି discussion କରିଛେ last class ରେ, again some components are there in this unit or in this new paper and some are also changed. बिकज आम कथा होते ना सोसाइटी नीड को लेकिन आम कोर्स डेवलप हुए. सो ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द प्रेजेंट नीड it has been modified and the new name of the paper, new code of the paper is 134 and new name of the paper is design, development and delivery of courseware. So in this paper here we have 3 blocks. So 3 blocks, among that the first block is about basics of designing courseware, which has 2 units, that is instructional design and basics of courseware designing. Then in the second block we have four units. The name of the block 2 is development of courseware. So this is the first unit is about the basics of designing courseware. The
ତୁ
second
କହୁଥିଲୁ କି ତୁଇ ତାକୁ ଯୋଉ ପାଠ ପଢୁ ସେ କଣ
development,
ପାଠ ପଢୁଛି ମୁଁ ଆଜି ନେବି 9ଟା ପରେ.
in that in the 4 unit,
ମୁଁ କହିଲି ପାଠ ପଢ ତୁଇ ତାକୁ କିଛି କହନି ସେ ତାର ପାଠ ପଢୁ କୋଉ ବିଷୟରେ ସେ
please
ଭିଡିଓ ଯୋଉ ପାଠ ପଢା କଥା.
please mute yourself. If you have any other discussion, please mute yourself. Okay, so the block 1 is about basics of designing courseware, which has 2 units. One unit is about your first unit is about your instructional design, and the second unit is about basics of courseware designing. And in the second block, we will discuss regarding development of courseware, how to develop the courseware. So in that 4 units are there for different medium. Like in the unit 3, we'll discuss development of courseware for print medium. In unit 4, we will discuss development of courseware for the audio medium. And in unit 5, we will discuss regarding development of courseware for the video medium. And in unit 6, development of reusable learning objects. Because block 2 is specifically based on development of courseware using different mediums. Then in block 3, we will discuss courseware delivery and management. In that also there is 2 unit, that is courseware delivery. Whatever courseware we have developed, how to deliver that courseware, then how to manage up courseware development and archival are in unit 8. So in total we have 8 units in this new paper code 134. So today, as we have discussed earlier 2 blocks of that paper, again today the first unit we will discuss, that is instructional design. Then in later classes we will cover all the units, that is in all the 3 blocks. So unit 1, that is instructional design, it has the major learning points like process of learning. How do we learn? Before planning for a instructional design or before planning for a instructional aspect, we must know what is learning and what is the process of learning. Then what is instructional design? Then how to design instructions. Then what are the models for instructional designing? Then learning design, what is it? So these are the major concepts that we are going to cover in this unit. So first thing is process of learning. How do we learn? As we are going to prepare the instructional design for a courseware, so before that we must know what is learning and what is the process of learning. In psychology papers, you must have read about the learning processes. So here we can say behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructivism. And before that, before behaviorism also, there exists structuralism and functionalism. So first one is structuralism, functionalism, then comes this behaviorism, then cognitivism, then constructivism. This is the we can say that this shift has been occurred in the learning process, but we are taking in account the advantage of each kind of learning theory in the present situation. So we cannot say that no, we are not adopting behaviorism. We are just we are in the constructivism phase. No, we are also taking the advantage of behaviorism, the advantages that is there in that kind of learning process. We are also implicating that in our classroom today also because it benefits us. So, before going for the discussion, I would like to ask you some question regarding this because this is the basis of psychological learning theories. Anybody knows about behaviorism? I have mentioned here also Thorndike learning, Pavlov learning, Skinner. Anybody knows about that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes, please tell me. हो ठीक है तुम्हें एक bilingual
Ma'am,
ଯେମିତି ବି language ରେ ଆମେ କହିପାରିବା. Yes.
yes, ma'am. Behaviorism means the process through which we just want to change the behavior of the learner. That means through the behaviorism theory, we try to modify the behavior of the learner through different exercises. That means with a different activity, and by practice, it gets better and better with the time. And at a time, it just stick to its habit, ma'am. So
Yes.
in the behaviorism, we focuses more on practice.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone can add to the point? Anyone want to add? Okay, the basic thing that we have discussed now, the answer is very accurate to this concept that is behaviorism because we are discussing about process of learning. That means learning means we are gaining some kind of information. We are coming across some kind of processes. We are acquiring some skills from our surrounding through our learning experiences or through interaction or from the environment. So here in behaviorism they believe that the learning helps to modify the behavior but is rightly cited by you now. So here we are believing at that time when behaviorism is the front line of process of learning, at that time we are believing that when if a learning occurs, that means it will change the, it will modify the behavior in a positive aspect. And Thorndike, Pavlov, and Skinner are the exponents of this behaviorism. We all know about Thorndike, who was given our trial and error method. So, according to him, we must try again and again, again and again, so that at a time and at any time it may hit the right answer. So we must try for that. We must practice. He has given importance to practice. And Pavlov learning, we know that he has given the concept of stimulus response. Stimulus କିଛି ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ stimulus ଦେବା ମାନେ ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ response ପାଇବା. So for to get that response, we will give stimulus again and again. So it will also change the behavior. ସେ ବହୁତ ସୁନ୍ଦର ଗୋଟେ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲଟେ ନେଇଥିଲେ ଯୋଉଟା କି ଆମେ ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିକାଲି ବି ଏବେ ଦେଖୁଛେ କୁକୁରର ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ନେଇଥିଲେ ବେଲ୍ ରାଙ୍ଗ ହବ ଖାଇବା ଦିଆଯିବ ଏବେ କ୍ଲାସରୁମ ସିଚୁଏସନ କୁ ଆମକୁ ଦେଖ ଲଞ୍ଚ ଟାଇମ ର ପିରିୟଡ ଯେତେବେଳେ ହେଇଯାଉଛି at that time we are feeling hungry automatically because we are settled with that timing ଯେତେ ଆମେ ଯାହା ଖାଇକି ଯାଇଥିବା at that time definitely will feel hunger because we are acquainted with the situation. So stimulus and response is also existing nowadays in our practice, but we need to understand where it is required and we need to apply in that situation only. Then Skinner has revised it and told that yes, if response we want more and more, if we want more and more response, then after response we must give a stimulus. So that will be in a practice. ଯେମିତି କି କିଛି ଗୋଟେ କରାଗଲା କିଛି ଗୋଟେ ପିଲା ଭଲ କାମଟେ କଲା ତାକୁ ଆମେ ଟିକେ ରିୱାର୍ଡ ଦେବା ତ ନିହାତି ସେ ପିଲାଟା ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ଟାଇମ ନେକ୍ସଟ ଟାଇମ ସେ ଆଉ ଟିକେ ଭଲ କରିବାକୁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରିବ. So here response is from the child side and we are giving stimulus in the form of reinforcement. We are rewarding, we are awarding. then the child now motivated to do the same kind of thing or motivated to practice the good habit. So it also concludes that yes, all these three theories, they are concluding that yes, in any way they want to modify the desired behavior in the individual. So that is the main essence of this behaviorism. Then comes to our cognitivism. Learning re cognitivism no role kon अछि. Behaviorism tame बुझिले, it modifies the behavior. It believes that ki learning amaro behavior को modify करता है. Now cognitivism, when cognition or cognitive it comes, that means it is related to the thinking process or brain development. So cognitivism जेतेला ଆମେ कहुचे, definitely it is related to our thinking process. That means learning happens with thinking. We can say insightful learning given by schools of gestures. ସେଠି ଗୋଟେ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ନିଆ ହେଇଥିଲା ସାଇକୋଲୋଜିରେ, ଯୋଉଟା କି ଆମର ଯେହେତୁ ଆମେ ଇନଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ସନାଲ ଡିଜାଇନ କହୁଛେ, ଟିକେ ଟିକେ ମୁଁ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ଦଉଛି। ଯୋଉଟା ମେନ୍ ଥିଓରି ଯୋଉଟା ରିସର୍ଚ୍ଚ କରାହେଇଥିଲା, ମଙ୍କି ଥିଲା କେଚ୍ ଭିତରେ, କେମିତି ସେ ବାହାରିବ, କଣ କଣ ତାକୁ ସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ଅଛି, କେମିତି ସେ କୋଉଟାକୁ ୟୁଜ କରିବ। they have cited that कि निज थिंकिंग प्रोसेस को नेकी से गोटे जिंस गोटे आइडिया को जनरेट करथिले। So cognitive always related to the thinking process, and it is supported by our exponent, that is Jean Piaget. Jean Piaget आकु cognitivism उपरे strongly से theory टाकु establish करिछंती। आमे समझते जानचे assimilation accommodation, ये जो जिंस जो स्कीमा रहुची केमती से स्कीमा टा चेंज होउची in a time and accommodate होउची, so that is given by Piaget. The cognitivism जेतरा आसले, yes, thinking process is important. Nowadays also we are saying that the critical thinking, creativity thinking, problem solving skill to be developed in a child जोटा कि हमें 21st century skill भी कहूचे। किंतु जति चिंता करिबा, जेतेला हमें चिंता करूबा, थिंकिंग प्रोसेस थाए, जेतेला हमें जणे चिंता करू, हमें केते गुडी आइडिया पाइथा। बट जेतेला हमें केते जनकर चिंतन को जति बा थिंकिंग को जति हमें कंबाइन करिबा, देन आम पाखरे बहुत गुडी आइडिया आसी जाय। से concept ru Vygotsky has given constructivism, not only Vygotsky, amar kete prakara constructivism achi, and social constructivism that we are believing in nowadays is given by Vygotsky. से emphasize देइथिले कि जेते बोले गोटे social context रे thinking process हुए, then definitely it enhances, it expands the learning horizon. So ए context जदि हमें देखिबा, so cognitivism रे जो thinking process कथा हमर Piaget कहिथिले, एठी मध्ये हमें से thinking process कथा कहूचे, but the thinking process is not limited to the particular individual. Now a group of peoples, they are thinking about something, and all the ideas we are combining to get a new idea. So definitely it will be helpful for the child. आमे क्लास रे तले गोटे क्वेश्चन बा गोटे प्रॉब्लम दिया हे जाउची, मु ताको केमती सॉल्व करी कि एका चिंता करूची। जदि क्लास रे हमको ग्रुप रे बसे हे कि से प्रॉब्लम टाको दिया जीवो, तो मु गोटे एस्पेक्ट चिंता कला बळकु मो सांगटा आ गोटे एस्पेक्ट को चिंता करी पारुची। And another friend gives some ideas, another friend can suggest, no, you are going in a right way, or we should think something different. तो ये भले जितने ideas आसी जाउची, definitely we are coming up with a good result. So constructivism thinking process को importance दबा सहित social context को importance देइछंती, जोठी कि हमें कहूचे learning टा आउटी के भलरे हेइ थाए। So how do we learn? This is different for these three contexts, that is behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructivism. So now you analyze this four picture এই চারটা চিত্র কু দেখো এই চারটা চিত্র ভিতরু it is one of the question I picked up from the igno material এই চারটা কোশ্চেন রে কোটাକୁ ଆମେ ଦେଖିକି ଭାବୁଛେ କି ଏଇଟା ଗୋଟେ ବିହେଭିୟରିଜିମ୍ ରେ ଆସିବ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ରେ ଏଇଟା କଗ୍ନିଟିଭିଜିମ୍ ରେ ଆସିବ ଏଇଟା କନଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ଟିଭିଜିମ୍ ରେ ଆସିବ anyone can tell picture any picture ଯୋଉଟାକୁ ତମେ କହୁଛ ଜାଣି ପାରୁଛ କୁହ ଚାରଟା ପିକ୍ଚର ରହିଛି ଏ ଚାରଟା ପିକ୍ଚର ରେ କୋଉଟାକୁ ମିନ୍ କରୁଛି କୋଉଟା କଗ୍ନିଟିଭିଜିମ୍ କୋଉଟା କନଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ଟିଭିଜିମ୍ କୋଉଟା ବିହେଭିୟରିଜିମ୍ Okay, anyone? Picture ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ visible ଅଛି?
Ma'am, picture 3 is cognitivism.
Okay. Wait. ତମ ନାଁଟା କଣ?
Adhyasa.
Okay, Adhyasa is telling picture 3 is cognitivism. ଆଉ କିଏ କିଛି କହିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛ picture 3 ଉପରେ?
Ma'am, picture 4 is behaviorism.
Okay, picture 4 is. Okay, Adhyasa ତୁମେ କୁହ why you are telling that picture 3 is cognitivism?
ମ୍ୟାମ୍ ସେଇଠି ସେ କିଛି ଗୋଟେ ଭାବୁଛି ତାପରେ ତାକୁ ରାଇଟ୍ ଡାଉନ୍ କରୁଛି ତ
Okay, thinking process of a
thinking
single
process involved
individual.
ହଉଛି.
Single individual ନା?
Yes.
Okay. ଆଉ କିଏ କିଛି ଏଥିରେ କହିବେ ନା you all are agree with this is cognitivism all are agree with that or any other answer is response is there from you okay I think all are agree with this image 3 is about cognitivism because the individual is thinking alone then 4 who has told the answer of 4 please name please
Ma'am, Tapashwini.
Tapaswini okay so Tapaswini is saying this is behaviorism why Tapaswini why you think so
Ma'am, because the traffic police is showing the red signal to stop from one side and let the other students to go or individuals to let cross
okay
the road.
okay so they are following one instruction or one stipulation and they're giving their response so whenever we are crossing the traffic when we are crossing through a traffic immediately we all are looking at the sign of the traffic police or the signal there in the traffic in the form of these lights isn't it we all are referring that or not automatically nobody
Yes.
is there to say us we are just following because it has changed our behavior this is conditioning ଆମେ ସମସ୍ତେ conditioning ହେଇଯାଇଛେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ବି ଆମେ ଯିବା ଜେବ୍ରା ଲାଇନ ଦେଖିଲେ ଆମ ଗାଡିଟା ତା ଆଗରେ ହିଁ ଅଟକି ଯିବ we want or not କିନ୍ତୁ ଆମେ ସେମିତି ଆମେ ତା ଆଗରୁ ଅଟକି ଯାଇଥାଉ like that way red light ଅଛି ମାନେ automatically no need to say we all are acquainted with that so we are stopping a vehicle there so this is conditioning and it refers to behaviorism. Then what about picture 1 and 2?
These are constructivism.
Okay, 1 and 2 both are constructivism. How? Anyone? Any other student? Any other student?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Tell
ma'am.
me.
It's constructivism, ma'am. Because in this second picture,
Yes.
there are two players. They are playing with them, and they are also try to move the ball towards each other.
Okay. So they
That's
are interacting here, isn't it? Both are interacting and both are improving by the way. They are ସେଠି ଚିନ୍ତା କରୁଛନ୍ତି କେମିତି କୋଉପଟେ ବଲ୍ ଦେବେ କେମିତି ଖେଳିବା and both are improving. Isn't it? ଏକାଠି ଖେଳୁଛନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କର ନିଜ ଥିଙ୍କିଂ ପ୍ରୋସେସ କୁ ୟୁଜ କରୁଛନ୍ତି କେମିତି ବଲ୍ ମାରିବା ତା ପାଖକୁ କେମିତି ଯିବ ସେ ବାନିବ ଏପଟୁ କେମିତି ଆସିବ and both are interacting in this way so as the children are playing together so this is social constructivism social mean more than one alone ନିଜେ ଏକୁଟିଆ ନଥିବ ଆଉ କାହା ସାଙ୍ଗେ ଥିବ and learning always keep in your mind that learning is not confined to the subject जहाँ भी आम चारिपटे घटुचे आम किसी ना किसी सबुथुरु शिखुचे है तो लर्निंग इज नॉट कन्फाइंड टू द स्कूल्स और टू द सब्जेक्ट आम जो जहाँ भी हो शिखुचे बहुत गुटे एक्टिविटी आम बहुत जिनस शिखुचे सो हियर as they are playing together using some ideas and improving in their practice by sharing by playing together, so this is social constructivism. Then what about the first one? What about the first one? In the first one, 6 images are there, but they are not interacting with each other. They are individual images, isn't it? ताका भीतर किछि इंटरैक्शन को हमें देखि पारछे कि से कंबाइनली किछि करूछन देखि
ନାଇଁ
no they are not
No,
doing.
ma'am.
So jaha bi se mane करूछन they are doing alone. And if they're following some kind of information instruction and behaving accordingly, so it is clear information हमें पाई पारने. Suppose जने dance करची जने jump करची बा उल्टी जाइची किछि भी activity से माने perform करूछंती जोटा कि clear है कि why they are performing like that. The interaction is not seen, it interaction is not there, and thinking process is there or not, it is also not clearly visible. So we can say that if they are following some kind of rules like here like in the image 4 कि किछु गोटे स्टिमुलस थिला सेमानक रेस्पॉन्स हमें देखिले नले में कहबा कि एपटे गले एक्सीडेंट कम हे जिंस कहि के से माने माने एक्वेंटेड हे गेलेनी कि हमकु माने गोटे रेनफोर्समेंट पॉजिटिवली दिया है हम एक्वेंटेड हे जाउचे बहुत गुटे सिचुएशन सहित एनी वे दैट इज कंडीशनिंग सो ए भले कंडीशनिंग ताकू मध्ये हम एटी क्लियरली देखि पारुने मे बी जो डेउची झियोटा किछि गोटे पाइला तो ताकू खुशी लागिला से खुशी होउची तो रेनफोर्समेंट जदि मिलिबो भी खुशी हे पारे इन दैट सेंस इफ विल थिंक देन इट मे बी बिहेवियरिज्म और जदि से ऊपर पिक्चर टा देखुथिबो थर्ड पिक्चर जदि ठिया कि भाब ठिया हेछि अंटर हाथ देकी सो मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम व्हेन वी आर थिंकिंग ऑफ समथिंग निज मुंडरे जदि किछि हम थिंकिंग प्रोसेस चलथे हम एमती ही चिंता करिथाउ सो इट इज नॉट क्लियर एटली किंतु एटा सोशल कंस्ट्रक्टिविज्म नुहे because social interaction is not there, and if like this picture will be there then it is really confusing, it is behaviorism or cognitivism. तमे जो एस्पेक्ट ताकू नबा जदि गोटे चित्र को देखि के हम परसीव करबा ओ एटा हेइथिबो ताले हम से एस्पेक्ट लागिबो थिंकिंग प्रोसेस हमको क्लियरली जाना पड़ने सो मोस्टली इट मे बी बिहेवियरिज्म or if thinking process is there then it is cognitivism, but it is not clear, but it is clear that it is not social constructivism. So now we are clear about the learning. Then what factors are there to determine this learning? कौन फैक्टर अछि जोटा कि हमको लर्निंग को डिटरमाइन करूची बा कंफर्म करूची देन द फर्स्ट वन इज गेनिंग अटेंशन. So attention जितला में ड्रॉ करियार थिबो तमे तमरो जो बुकटा अछि 134 पे इग्नोर मटेरियल तमे देखो एनी मटेरियल यू कैन सी देखो तुमे गोटे कॉन्टेक्स्ट को दिया छी सेतरे केते गोटे पिक्चर अछि केते गोटे क्वेश्चन जोटे गोटे ए जो क्वेश्चन तम पे नेली इट इज देयर इन योर इग्नो मटेरियल सो एमते क्वेश्चन अछि इमेज बेस्ड क्वेश्चन अछि some case studies some box information अछि so these kind of things are given to draw the attention of the learner, to hold the attention of the learner or to retain the attention of the learner. First है तो attention को draw करेबा आता को hold करेबा बा retain करेबा माने attention को बजाय रखिबा. So gaining attention is a factor that determines learning. आमे जदि हमर attention रहिबो suppose you are feeling good to see in my PPTs मो PPT तमु जदि भल लागिला तन तमर चाहिबा आउ कोन करा हेतबो केमती करथिबे मैडम so you will मोर पीपीटी तुमको होल्ड करके रखी पारिबो लर्निंग पे कौन डिजाइन हिची केमती रिप्रेजेंट करूछंती व्हाट पॉइंट्स आर देयर व्हाट पॉइंट्स आर प्रेजेंटेड इन दिस पीपीटी सो किछि भी हमें जते हमें को अटेंशन को गेन करिया को चाहू जे लर्नर करा सो मेनी वेज आर देयर वी कैन प्रैक्टिस एनी वे दैट इज अप्रोप्रिएट फॉर द लर्निंग सिचुएशन जो सिचुएशन जोटा फिट करिबो हमें सेटा को दबा. देन इंटरेस्ट जितने में अटेंशन दबा ता भीतर हमें चूज करी यस दीज थिंग्स आर इंटरेस्टिंग फॉर मी कहा को इमेज भल लगी पारे सपोज एई पिक्चर तुम अच्छी तुम भल लगी पारे यस दिस काइंड ऑफ थिंग थिला हमको क्लियर हे जबा हमर जहा अंडरस्टैंडिंग थिला हम क्लियर हे परिबा बा निजर हमर सेल्फ असेसमेंट करि परिबा सो इंटरेस्ट तमर आसीबारे मोटा बुझिछि कि नै जानि गल्ली अगेन विल गो फॉर नेक्स्ट फेज नहले आम पाखरे किछि अदर फॉर्म रे हमर देइछि केस स्टडीज देइछि जहा भी हो सो तले में अटेंशन को हमें व्हेन वी आर पेइंग अटेंशन then that tells us where we have our interest so interest जेतरा आसी जीवो लर्निंग टा भलो हबो सेति हम देखिथिबे we are now focusing we are now shifting from the teacher centered approach to child centric approach or we can say that we are changing we are shifting from lecturer method or lecturer method to nowadays constructivist approach because in lecture method it is monotonous जणे कहि चलिबो interaction कम थाए जणे ही transfer of knowledge बळे चलते but when we in the constructivist approach जेमते हम चित्र देखिले भी समस्त गोटे माइंड रे थिंकिंग प्रोसेस चलला समस्त आइडिया को हमें नेले आ कंक्लूड करले so these things are happening and it creates interest among the child or the learners so ए भळे जिंस जतले हमें करबे it ensures learning then another thing that is most important thing and that is the basis of constructivism that or any learning that is the basis of learning and that is focused in constructivism that is linking new and old learning so whenever we are going for a new learning that must be based on the previous learning that may be from the school or from the previous classes or from the life experience प्रीवियस नॉलेज टा बा प्रीवियस लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस टा सब बळे जे ए चैप्टर टा रे मु कोन आगुरु पढिछि नॉट लाइक दैट ता रिलेटेड मो पाखे कोन एक्सपीरियंस अछि जेमति कि मु कहिबी आमे समस्त सपोज यू आर डूइंग एमए एजुकेशन कोर्स तो तमे निहाती ग्रेजुएशन एजुकेशन रे करिथिबो बिफोर दैट एजुकेशन विषय किछि प्लस 2 रे पढिथिबो बट बिसाइड दैट वी ऑल आर पार्ट ऑफ एजुकेशन सिस्टम आमे स्टूडेंट अच्छे आज जाए तो जो एजुकेशन कथा में पढुचे बा जो एजुकेशन सिस्टम कथा पढु डिस्कशन हमें करूचे वी आर पार्ट ऑफ दैट जति हमें लर्निंग कथा कहबो हमें त लर्निंग प्रोसेस देई कि ही जे जगह रे पहुंचीचे so we are part of that and that learning experience that may be of our primary school that may be of our secondary school or of college experience we can use to gain or to learn new things so that is related to prior learning experience is very important to construct new ideas एटा हमर लर्निंग को मध्य एनहांस करि थाए कहाटू सुनी कि हमें जति कि मन रखिबा मु सपोज डिस्कशन करूची यू लिसन टू मी यू कैन फाइंड समथिंग इजी बाय दिस डिस्कशन बट तमे जत्ते बळे ताकू रिलेट करिबो तुमरो किछि एक्सपीरियंस सहित आई एम साइटिंग हियर वन और टू एग्जांपल बट जता तुमे निजर डिफरेंट एक्सपीरियंस सहित ताकू रिलेट करिबो देन डेफिनेटली यू कैन एंश्योर योर लर्निंग so setipe ame sabu bale the new learning means it must rely on some previous learning experience then readiness for learning is essential वो देखि तो कोर्स पे मैं एंट्रेंस करी कि नोच एंट्रेंस रे जे माने बेस्ट स्कोर करछनी वी आर टेकिंग that students to take admission into that particular course because this readiness आमे त ताकर एप्टीट्यूड को देखुचे देखिकी नौचे then we are making them ready for the particular learning so readiness जदि हला readiness not only the child sector ने suppose एम एजुकेशन कोर्स करछे इग्नोर करूछ तमे सिलेक्ट करबा ऑप्ट करी कि आसिल ना ए कोर्स ट्राई करछे तुमको केमती फर्स्ट रेडी करेबो ए प्रकार लर्निंग मटेरियल सहित एक्वेंटेड हबा पे सेति बड ओरिएंटेशन प्रोग्राम होची ओरिएंटेशन रे तुमरो जो जो जिंस रही तुमको केमिति इंटरेस्टिंगली ताकू होल्ड करि परिबा से जिंस पर डिस्कशन होची एंड गोटे ओवरव्यू दिया जाउची सो दैट तुमको द लर्निंग रे हेल्पफुल हबो सपोज बीएड प्रोग्राम कहिबा बीएड प्रोग्राम हला टीचरशिप पे सो एंट्रेंस करके हमें पिलांगु नउची टीचिंग एप्टीट्यूड देखिकी एंड ताको पाखरे किछटा एबिलिटी अछि भाबी कि हमें एंट्रेंस पिक करछे जमन हाई स्कोर रखुछंती देन रेडीनेस तांकर जो जिनस तांकर स्ट्रेंथ जहाँ अच्छी आ तांकर जोटा वीकनेस अच्छी ताकू नहीं कि हमें केमती तांको गोटे भलो टीचर बने पे रेडी करूची सो दैट रेडीनेस इज एसेंशियल फॉर लर्निंग जेमती कहबा छोट पिलांक कथा कहबा जदी हमें स्टैंडर्ड 1 2 को आसिया पूर्व घरे हमें समस्त ताको टिके अ सिखे दउचे 1 टू 2 सिखाउचे जहाँ भी ऑब्जेक्ट अच्छी चारिपटे ताको टिके सिखाउचे एंड आजिकली तो प्री स्कूल कंपलसरी हो गलानी अंगनवाड़ी भी कंपलसरी हो गलानी पिलांको अंगनवाड़ी छाड़ुचे जोटी की तांको डिफरेंट ऑब्जेक्ट्स कलर पिक्चर्स प्री राइटिंग द गारेबा स्क्रिबलिंग प्री रीडिंग पिक्चर रीडिंग वर्ड कार्ड गेम्स पजल ब्लॉक ए सब जिनसे एक्सपोज करा होची because later जेतरे स्कूल एजुकेशन को से माने आसीबे they will come with the readiness to enter into grade 1 स्कूल को आसिला बेलको तांका पाखे गोटे मिनिमम रेडीनेस आसी जाइथिबो एंड रेडीनेस को पुणी रेडीनेस को आगे नबो के ना स्कूल मध्ये तांका पे रेडी हेकी थिबो फैमिली बा पेरेंट्स जे तांको छाडू छंदी से माने भी रेडी थिबे कि प्रति मुहूर्ते केमती पिला को सपोर्ट करिवे ओके सो रेडीनेस इज वेरी इंपोर्टेंट एनीवन के पचारिबो क्वेश्चन
जो
ओके
रेडीनेस
म्यूट कर दियो
इन
जा
प्राइमरी एजुकेशन रेडीनेस इन प्राइमरी एजुकेशन शिशु श्रेणी
हाँ हाँ यस यस प्राइमरी एजुकेशन पूर्व जोड़ा अच्छे हमर अंगनवाड़ी जो शिशु श्रेणी थिला बे तो कंपलसरी सेहिति पे करलानी बिकॉज़ रेडीनेस इज रिक्वायर्ड किछिटा रेडीनेस आसीथिले आमे तांकू ठीक बाटरे नहीं पारिबा बा सेही जो डायरेक्शन में नबा कथा ताकू प्रॉपर्ली आमे नहीं पारिबा सो रेडीनेस फॉर लर्निंग इज एसेंशियल एट एवरी लेवल खाली तांकर नुई हमर समस्तंकर दरकार ओके जेमति कि हमें पीएचडी करबा ओटे कोर्स वर्क करके हम रेडी होचे सो सब लेवल ले किछि ना किछि रेडीनेस हम दरकार पर्टिकुलर जिंस करबा पे एंड दैट इज एसेंशियल फॉर लर्निंग देन कंटिन्यूटी stimulus and the desired response should be close to each other ए स्टिमुलस देले ए रेस्पॉन्स देखा जीवो ए जिंस भीतर रिलेशन थिबा दरकार एटा को हमें देखिबा सेटा थिले ही जदी मु ए भलिया लेखुची हैंडराइटिंग लेखिली से मते प्रशंसा करले मते भलो फीडबैक भलो रेनफोर्समेंट मिलिला मु सेटा को मोर प्रैक्टिस बनैली जोथि पे कि आज मोर बहुत सुंदर हैंडराइटिंग हे पारिला सो इन दिस वे द स्टिमुलस रेस्पॉन्स should be close to each other then goal learning is purposeful learning ame sabu context ram learning हुए but it should be purposeful मु कोन को स्टेज रे कोन सिखिबा दरकार मु ताहा सिखिछि कि नाही then learner engagement it is very important because if we'll be able to engage the learner actively in the learning process then definitely the learner will learn something suppose I am discussing here only I am discussing from my side then I'm not engaging you all if I'm interacting with you if I'm asking some question to you if I am taking your experience for discussion then I am able to engage you in the process and that will definitely help in the learning process learner engagement means actively learners will take part in the learning process and interaction that is teachers with peers peers with peers peers with the materials now here you are discussing with me and also you are going through these ppts so you are interacting with the material and also you are interacting with me and if अच्छा ऑनलाइन अच्छे if real classroom रे में थांते हम भीतर peer interaction भी हे थांते so the inclusion discussion forum online course रे collaborative project assignments इतबे online थिले भी हम collaborative work करी कि मध्य हम interact करी परिबा then support through explanation example glossary illustration summary we all know that ये जो support उड़ा कर दिया जाए it also helps or enhances our learning level then practice गोटे जिंस खाली learn कर हेबनी we should practice that practice strengthens our learning and that leads to perfection jete practice kariba our learning strengthen haba perfect haba then feedback reinforces learning feedback daba pilata motivate he ki ahuri bhalo karibo so it is also a very good a very important aspect of learning process then satisfaction. Then satisfaction, relevant and interesting content that fulfill learning need leads to satisfying the learning experience. ମୁଁ ଯାହା ଜାଣିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଥିଲି ବା ଶିଖିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଥିଲି ଯଦି ମୁଁ ସେୟା ଶିଖି ପାରୁଛି, satisfy ଲାଗୁଛି, then definitely ସେ interest ବଢେଇବା ଆଉ ଅଧିକ ଶିଖିବା ପାଇଁ. Then clarity of content, which kind of content we are discussing during the discussion. Who is leading the discussion must have the content clarity. Okay, then comes your self learning. We have discussed regarding learning, joti collaborative learning katha kaile, group learning katha kaile, ame constructive is social learning, social context learning katha kaile. Now what is self learning? Self learning is self directed, ନିଜକୁ ନିଜେ ସେଲ୍ଫ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ. କିଛି ଆମେ ଦେଖିଛେ ବହୁତ ସମୟରେ କିଛି ବହି ଅଛି, ଇଚ୍ଛା ହେଲା ଜିକେ ଧରିଲେ ବହି ପଢିଲେ ସେଠୁ ଆମେ ଶିଖିଲେ, ବା ଟେକ୍ସଟ ବୁକ୍ ପଢିଲେ. ଟେକ୍ସଟ ବୁକ୍ ତ ସାଧାରଣତଃ ଆମେ ଛୋଟବେଳେ ସେଲ୍ଫ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ଭାବରେ ଏତେ ୟୁଜ୍ କରୁନେ, ବଟ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଅଲସୋ ଏ ସେଲ୍ଫ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ମ୍ୟାଟେରିଆଲ. ଯଦି ଆମେ ଠିକରେ କ୍ଲାସ ଆଟେଣ୍ଡ କଲେ and we are going through the book line by line, it also gives some idea to us, because in the book pictures are there, images are there, examples are there, more information, facts, all are there. So that is also one kind of self learning material. So that self learning means we are directing ourselves to learn. ଆମେ କାହାର ସପୋର୍ଟ ନ ନେଇକି ନିଜେ ନିଜେ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ପ୍ରୋସେସକୁ ଆକ୍ୱାର୍ଡ କରିବା ଆଉ ନିଜେ ଲର୍ନ କରିବା. Suppose nowadays you are searching web, we are searching Google, you are going through the different tutorial in the YouTube, and you are learning by yourself. ତମକୁ ଯୋଉଟା ଭଲ ଲାଗିଲା, ଯେମିତି ଭଲ ତାକୁ ତମେ ଆକ୍ୱାର୍ଡ କରିକି ତମେ ଶିଖୁଛ. That is your self learning. Then instructional design. Then what is this instructional design? That is focused in our discussion point is that ଆମେ learning କଣ ବୁଝିଲେ, then factors affecting learning ବୁଝିଲେ. Now what is this instructional design? Teaching we know, and what is this instruction again? So most of the time we are using this word teaching and instruction interchangeably. We are thinking, yes, what is teaching? That is only instruction. But according to Romis Joski, instruction is a goal directed teaching process which is to a great extent pre-planned. That means instruction, when we are saying, or instructional process we are saying, that means it is a goal directed teaching process. We know what kind of instructions should be given and what will be the outcome, and everything in between that is pre-planned. Then for this kind of instructional process, this is the objectives or goals, these are the materials, this is the strategy, this is the assessment process, and this will be the outcome. So all are pre-planned and that are directed, goal directed. So when we are telling instruction means it specifies more about the process instruction. So some kind of instruction is given, and at the end some outcome we are getting. So instruction ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ଆସି ଯାଉଛୁ ଦେଖିଥିବ ପ୍ରାୟ ଟିଚିଂ ଦେଖିଥିବ ସବୁ କଣ୍ଟେଣ୍ଟ ଗୁଡା ଦେଖିବ ଇନଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ସନାଲ ଅବଜେକ୍ଟିଭ ଲେଖା ହେଇଥିବ. ତାମାନେ କଣ ସେ ଅବଜେକ୍ଟିଭ ଫୁଲଫିଲ କରିବାର ଅଛି, that is the target, and what kind of strategy, instructional strategy we are following, what kind of material we are using, how we are assessing, and what is the outcome. This is as a whole pre-planned process and goal directed teaching process. So in that process what we are doing, we have discussed regarding systems approach. In that the first one is, we know first one is learners need analysis. How to analyze the need? By conducting survey. Last class we have discussed how to analyze the need by taking some population of or sample population of learners and survey their needs and interest. Then we are giving some inputs to them, and we are expecting some form of outputs from them, and the output is relevant or not, or the output is as per the learning need or not, we are assessing it. If we found it's good, then we are giving positive feedback, and if we want some improvement in that process, also we are giving feedback, and we are replanning the input. Se feedback ta kodi doche input. So learner kara need ko ame jani gale what is required, से हिसाब रे हम ताको इनपुट देले इन द फॉर्म ऑफ डिफरेंट स्ट्रेटजी बाय यूजिंग डिफरेंट मटेरियल तापर से मन के पाखरे हमरे आउटकम पाई गेले जो आउटकम टा पाइले दैट इज रिलेटेड दैट इज रेलेवेंट टू द नीड और नॉट ताको हम असेस करले असेस कला पर हम जहा पाइले इ पॉजिटिव भलो रे पाइ हम ताको रिवार्ड करले और कोठी कोठी दरकार आउट के इंप्रूवमेंट सेटा को हम स्पेसिफाई करके हम इनपुट टा को अगेन हम चेंज करबा एंड इट इज नोन एज योर systems approach. Then how to design the instructional process केमते हमें डिजाइन करबा कोन भाबुछ केमती गोटे हमें इंस्ट्रक्शनल डिजाइन को जदी एत्ती जिंस हमें कथा हेलेनी गोटे इंस्ट्रक्शनल डिजाइन कला बळको हम को जिंस को कंसीडर करे व्हाट वी मस्ट कंसीडर व्हाट यू आर थिंकिंग एनीवन
Yes, ma'am.
yes
While designing the instructional for the instructional design, we must keep in mind the learners first, the level of learner, and as well as the process. That means the process of behaviorism, constructivism, and also cognitive process. And we also think about our need of the learner. It should be in mind that what the learner need, and then we can design our instruction, ma'am.
okay so first thing hame janiba we must know about the need and interest of the child isn't it first I mean tar need and interest ko study kariba then accordingly as per the need and as per the interest we must choose the strategies how to make them learn what process we must adopt or what strategy we must use for the learners then what materials are required how to guide them then how to support them how to assess their learning how to give feedback and if any changes is required how to incorporate the change by replanning the process so yes the first thing is that gain attention first the design करचे how to design in that first aspect is gain attention means how to gain attention of the learner and it is because ताको जदि need basis रे हेइथिबो ताको interest basis रे हेइथिबो definitely it will draw their attention you all have taken this educational technology as your course paper isn't it and तुम्हारे interest अछि so and ऐसे बही रे तुमे जोटा भाबी कि एजुकेशनल टेक्नोलॉजी गोटे स्पेशल पेपर तुमरो नेइच सेटा को आखि आगे रखिकी तुमरो जो डिजाइन करा हेची मटेरियल टा सेथरे डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स आर प्लेस्ड कोठी बॉक्स दिया हेची कोठी इंफॉर्मेशन दिया हेची कोठी रियल लाइफ रो एक्सपीरियंस दिया हेची कोठी कोठी बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट को एक्सप्लेन करा जायची ता सहित किछि इलस्ट्रेशन दिया हेची सो ऑल आर देयर these things are planned to draw your attention and hold your attention in the subject in the instructional material and to make it because attention को जदि रखिया को हम कोन करे पड़े it must be interested and need तुमरो दरकार अछि and दरकार जिंस को जदि रखा होला तुमरो दरकार अछि से दरकार जिंस को जदि मुठी डिस्कशन करूची then it will it is then you will feel interesting about that topic or about the discussion then after that we must inform the learner the objective the learner must know what we will learn जेमति कि हमें फर्स्ट डिस्कशन आज कर देले कोर्स रे कोन अछि आ सेइते जदि हमें फर्स्ट यूनिट डिस्कशन करछे से फर्स्ट यूनिट फर्स्ट ब्लॉक रे दुटा यूनिट अछि एंड अगेन इन द फर्स्ट यूनिट व्हाट थिंग्स आर देयर कोन अछि सेथिरे त हमें एटा कहि दउची आ कोन तमे सिखिबा को पाइबो then definitely it will develop your curiosity to know about yes जदि मोटा करि परिबी तापर मोटा सिखि परिबी then definitely I'll go through it so we must inform the learner regarding the objective beforehand से जानिबे तो आमे आज सिखिबु बा ए जिंस आमे सिखिबु then definitely it will create some kind of interest in them and clarity से माने निजु को निज मध्ये कर पे yes एटा सिखिबार तला मु सिखि परली कि नाही okay then आमे ऑलरेडी डिस्कशन कर सच्चे जेतला आमे डिजाइन करिबा at that time we must give emphasis on the prior learning experience ତମେ ଯୋଉ କହୁଥିଲ ଏବେ ବିହେଭିୟରିଜିମ୍, କଗ୍ନିଟିଭିଜିମ୍ and social constructivism, जोटी की social constructivism रे बेसी importance दिया है we must allow the child to construct the idea, and for that the activity whatever will design for the child, it must rely on the prior learning experience or past experience or previous learning experience. आमे खाली गोटे एनवायरनमेंट क्रिएट करदा जोटी ताकू से जानिथिबा जिंस तार प्रीवियस नॉलेज बेस्ड जिंस गुडा सब थिबो, एंड ऑन द से जो एक्टिविटी आमे कंडक्ट करबे से तार एक्सपीरियंस बेसिस रे थिबो। तो से based on the previous or old experience or previous experience, the child will construct new ideas. So it is also required while designing. The design करिबा सब कंटेंट गुडा को आमे ताकर एक्सपीरियंस बेस्ड को रखिबा को चेष्टा करिबा। Then meaningful presentation. Now previous experience is there, so whatever new learning will be there, that must be presented in a very meaningful manner, जोटा पिला बुझी पारुथिबो। सिंपल वे, मीनिंगफुल वे ताको हमको प्रेजेंट करबा को पड़िबो। तो प्रायर नॉलेज उपरे रिलाय करिके हमें न्यू लर्निंग को एंश्योर करिबा। आ जते न्यू लर्निंग करिबा, चाइल्ड विल कंस्ट्रक्ट द न्यू आइडियाज, and the new learning that will be confirmed by the teacher should be presented in a very meaningful manner. That meaning thiba, sense thiba, pila taku sense kari paruthuba. So that kind of presentation should be there. Then learning guidance. If during this process हम ताको objective कहि सालेनी, ताको previous learning बा previous knowledge based ताको हमें तार new idea construct करे को scope create करले, meaningful presentation हैला। Also during this process, the child may face some difficulty, they may need some kind of support, so learning guidance should be provided to the learner. So these things also should be placed in the instructional design कि कोडी तार गाइडेंस दरकार पड़िबो, where to guide them, सेठी कोन करबा, हम किछि इमेज दे देबा, किछि एडिशनल रिसोर्सेस दे परिबा, व्हाटएवर किछि गोटे पिक्टोरियल रिप्रेजेंटेशन दे परिबा, किछि केस स्टडी, किछि इलस्ट्रेशन, तो गाइड करबा पई। Then elicit performance. So by this way ताको परफॉर्मेंस को हम टिके elicit करि परिबा, हम बेटर करि परिबा। बारंबार से जिंस हम जेतला आसीबो निहाती एटा तार परफॉर्मेंस को elicit करिबो। Then feedback, जहाँ भी से माने परफॉर्म करंतु, we must give them some feedback on that to bring ताको जेते जहाँ भी करछंती सेथिरे जहाँ भलो करिछंती ताको आमे सेटा ताको इन्फॉर्म करबा, इट्स दिस इज योर स्ट्रेंथ, एंड आल्सो जो थ्री इंप्रूवमेंट दरकार सेति आमे फीडबैक दब, एंड फीडबैक इज ऑलवेज रिक्वायर्ड। आमे कहि परिबेन जे वी आर परफेक्ट इन ऑल सेंस। इन मु आज तम क्लास टे नोची तो भलो लागी पारे, बट समवेयर आई मे नीड टू डेवलप सम एस्पेक्ट, सो आई नीड फीडबैक। फीडबैक हेले निहाती सेति इंप्रूवमेंट हबो। Feedback is a very positive thing and it should be given. तुमको भी मोर दबा दरकार, तमे मते दबा दरकार, everyone, because we all are in the learning process. आउ आमे कहि परबे ना आमे सब एस्पेक्ट पूरा ठीक अछि। सिचुएशन टू सिचुएशन मध्ये एटा डिफर करि पारे। आजिर प्रेजेंटेशन तुमको बहुत भल लागि पारे, काली मोर प्रेजेंटेशन ऊपर तमर किछ पॉजिटिव, आजिर प्रेजेंटेशन बहुत पॉजिटिव फीडबैक दैछ, बट काली प्रेजेंटेशन रे किछ मोर इंप्रूवमेंट भी दरकार पड़ी पारे। इट इज नॉट सेम फॉर ऑल द टाइम। So feedback is necessary, and it is 100% that feedback will improve you. जेता तमे फीडबैक पाइछ देखो, जेते बे तमे रिकॉल करो तमर एक्सपीरियंस रु कोठी ना तम फीडबैक पाइछ, एनकरेज ताहा करछि तुमको इंप्रूव करेछि से एस्पेक्ट रे। So it is required. Then assess performance. Whatever they are performing, it must be assessed, because we want to know whatever learning objective has been formulated and what outcomes or what desired outcomes we want to see in the child, it is fulfilled or not. To know that, or to what extent the objective has been achieved, to know that we must assess the performance of the learner. Then retention and transfer. That means whatever knowledge or skill they have acquired, they must retain with them and they must transfer when it is required. मु भी किछि एजुकेशन कोर्स करथिली, सेटु किछि नॉलेज पाइथिली, सेटा मो भितर मु गोटे मोर क्लैरिटी, मोर गोटे ता ऊपर मास्टरी आनथिली। नाउ आई एम ट्रांसफरिंग टू यू व्हाटएवर आई हैव अंडरस्टूड, बेसिंग ऑन माय अंडरस्टैंडिंग आई एम ट्रांसफरिंग यू। ସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ଯେମିତି ରଖା ହେଇଛି ବହିରେ ମୁଁ ସେମିତି ନ କହିପାରେ, ବିକଜ ମୁଁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ତାକୁ ପଢିଛି ତାକୁ ମୁଁ ଗେନ୍ କରିଛି ଆଣ୍ଡ ତାକୁ ମୋ ଭିତରେ ଗୋଟେ ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜ କରିଛି, ସେ ଭିତରେ ମୋର ରିଟେନ୍ ହେଇକି ଥିଲା, ରିଟେନ୍ ମାନେ ମୋ ଭିତରେ ଥିଲା। ନାଉ ଆଇ ଏମ୍ ଟ୍ରାନ୍ସଫରିଂ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଟୁ ୟୁ through my discussion. So all these things should be placed in a design. So how to design? When we are planning for a design, we must keep these things in our mind. Okay. Next, instructional planning. Again, we know that whatever we have discussed, need analysis. When we are planning how to design, we have covered here, discussed here how to design. Now, instructional planning. When in the planning stage, this need analysis, that the most appropriate way is that is survey. Then setting instructional goals that is related to our learning outcomes. What that states learning outcomes clearly. Outcome means जोटा को हमें पिलांग थारे जो modification टा जो changes टा देखिया तो outcome टा देखिया जो जो से demonstrate करी पारिबे. Then deciding how learning will be assessed at the end of the course. ଯଦି ଏଇଟା ଆମର ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ଗୋଲ ତ ଆଚିଭ୍ ହେଇଛି କି ନାହିଁ ମୁଁ କେମିତି ଜାଣିବି ଆଟ୍ ଦ ଏଣ୍ଡ ଅଫ୍ ଦ କୋର୍ସ। ଦେନ୍ ଫର୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ମୁଁ ଜାଣିଗଲି ମୋର ଅବଜେକ୍ଟିଭ, ମୋର ଗୋଲ କ'ଣ, ମୋର ଆଉଟକମ୍ କ'ଣ, ଆଣ୍ଡ ମୁଁ ତାକୁ କେମିତି ଆସେସ୍ କଲେ ଜାଣିପାରିବି ତାକୁ ମୁଁ ଜାଣିଗଲି। ନା ସେଇ ଯୋଉ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ଆଉଟକମ୍ ବା ସେଇ ଯୋଉ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ଇନଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ସନାଲ ଗୋଲ ସେଟାକୁ ଆଚିଭ୍ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ମତେ କ'ଣ ସବୁ କରିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ। ସୋ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଟାସ୍କ ଆନାଲିସିସ୍। ତମ ଟାସ୍କ ଆନାଲିସିସ୍ ରେ କ'ଣ ରହିବ? ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ କାଇଣ୍ଡ ଅଫ୍ କଣ୍ଟେଣ୍ଟ ଆଇ ୱିଲ୍ ଟେକ୍, what kind of strategy I will take, what kind of material I will use, and what kind of instrument I will use to assess them. So task analysis रे एटी analysis करा हबो जदि पिलार need एया त ता पे आ जदि पिलार need एया instructional goal मोर एटा अछि, then what kind of content, material and instrument I will choose for the program. It is like task analysis. Analysis he gala. Now the next step is, now we know what to incorporate. So on the basis of that we'll develop a content. And after developing the content, to know its relevancy for the program, we will test the material. Sometimes we may try out at the earlier, नले वर्षे 2 वर्ष जेमते बे सुनिथिबो बहुत गुरे कोर्स चालुची ताको वर्षे ट्राई आउट पे छाडुचंती, से जो रिजल्ट को नेकी एनालिसिस करचंती, यस दिस मटेरियल इज गुड, देन ताको केते दिन जाके ताको यूज करछन। सपोज हमें जो पेपर कोड थिला गुरु ता टेस्ट मटेरियल बहुत दिन यूज कराइची, बट प्रेजेंट कंटेक्स्ट को से केते फिट हे पर ताको एनालिसिस करा जाय कि ताको इवैल्यूएट करा गला, एंड अगेन इट इज चेंज्ड बेसिंग ऑन द प्रेजेंट कंटेक्स्ट. So test and evaluate haba material na and replan ta haba. So this is about your instructional planning. Educational technology पे गोटे teach student को गोटे student रा need analysis हबो तार कोन दरकार accordingly instructional goal तम पे fix करा हला, then केमिति last जाना पड़बे जे yes you have acquired the learning outcomes, ସେଥି पे assessment कथा चिंता करा गला, then task analysis if for that kind of instructional goals. Now कौन आमर कंटेंट रहिबो, कौन आमर पिक्चर, कौन आमर प्रोसेस रहिबो बा स्ट्रेटजी रहिबो, देन कंटेंट तमर तीनटा ब्लॉक रखा गला, डिफरेंट यूनिट रहिला सेथिरे, ऑल द लर्निंग मटेरियल्स आर अरेंज्ड, इट हैज बीन यूज्ड, एबे तमर यूज करा होची, एमती प्रोसेस रे ताको इवैल्यूएट भी करा हेबो। त ट्राई आउट भी समटाइम्स छोटो गोटे सैंपल को नेकी ट्राई आउट करिकि ताको तापरे लार्ज स्केल यूज करा हे पारे, और गोटे वर्ष 2 वर्ष 3 वर्ष ट्राई आउट करा है, if it is effective, if it is found effective, it will be in the practice, or again replan will be there. Then steps for developing instructional design. जदि हमें से then what are the steps? Again से जिनसोडा का आछु देखो, कारण हमें बुझिले फर्स्ट हाउ टू डिजाइन, प्लानिंग रे बुझिले, एबे प्लानिंग पर जदि हमें डेवलप करूचे, again we will go with that need analysis हला, then we have gone for instructional formulating instructional goals, then task analysis, then delivery of instruction, assessment. If we found something, then it is again it will modify the instructional goal and also the content in task analysis page. Commonwealth of learning 2005 classify the instructional design into three types. One is tail and test, one is tutorial, and reflective action guide. So according to Commonwealth of Learning, three types of instructional design are there: tail and test. That means explanation followed by testing. Some concept I have explained. After that, the children are administered with some kind of test based on the explanation. Then tutorial. Here the instructional inputs are followed by an activity. Tutorial like kichi gote learning diya material diya you will go through that, and then it has some thinking based question. The tutorial mode देखिथिबो गोटे मझिरे मझिरे किछि क्वेश्चन आसीजिबो, तमे चिंता करिवो, if you are not able to answer then सेठी क्लू आसीजिबो, right answer दबो, तमे तार wrong answer तार explanation गोटे पाइबो. So it is based on the thinking process mostly. First hala tail and test ता mostly behavioristic approach रे. Tutorial ता हला activity interactive activity भी हमें कहि परिबा. The instructional गोटे इनपुट गुडा दिया जाय थाए, तापर गोटे एक्टिविटी दिन तम बही रे भी देखिबो मोस्टली ए जो बही रे किछि गोटे देइ देला जेमति कि हमें पढुथिले लर्निंग हाउ डू चाइल्ड लर्न, तापर गोटे पिक्चर देइ देला सेठ तमे करला, तमे सेठी थिंकिंग प्रोसेस की यूज करला. जब तमे न करि पारलो ठीक रे, दैट मीन्स यू हैव नॉट अंडरस्टूड द कांसेप्ट. तो तमे अगेन सेटा को आउथरे गो थ्रू कर परिबो. सो एटा तुमरा कॉग्निशन को mostly support करूँ, तुम thinking process को support करूँ. Then the third one is reflective action guide. That means it a mostly constructive approach because तमे तले गोटे क्लासरूम बा गोटे जिंस पढिला बा गोटे जिंस परफॉर्मेंस तमर हैला, after that you are reflecting what things went well and where I need improvement. तो किछि भी गोटे तमे explanation दउचो बा किछि explanation सुनुचो बा किछि एक्टिविटी तम पार्टिसिपेट करूचो, क्लासरूम एक्टिविटी प्रैक्टिस करू पार्टिसिपेट करूच, तो निजु निजे रिफ्लेक्ट करछ मु केमते आज भलो कर पाली, को जिंसटा आज मोर डिस्कशन रे भलो थिला, कोटा को मु इंप्रूव करि परिबी. एंड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ रिफ्लेक्शन यू विल चेंज योर प्रोसेस. समटाइम्स ए जो रिफ्लेक्शन ता तमर सेल्फ रिफ्लेक्शन हवा सहित तुमे आउ तम पियर मानक थारु मध्य फीडबैक नै परिबो. से बहुत गुटे प्रोसेस अच्छे जमती कि कोलाबोरेटिव प्रोजेक्ट मिसी करूच, जे जा पार्ट को रिफ्लेक्ट करूच, अन्य मानकु तमे सांग मानकु तमे तमर तांकर काम को तमे फीडबैक दउच एंड यू आर इंप्रूविंग द प्रोजेक्ट, और यू आर डिस्कसिंग with your learner regarding the strength and weakness of your friend, or you are writing reflective journal. That means after doing after taking part in some kind of activities, or suppose I am taking your class, after that I will write a reflective journal by citing what contents I have taken, what went well, where what is my strength, or what is the strength of what is the best thing that happened in my class, and what need improvement. That will be placed in the reflective journal. And on the basis of the reflection I will improve my next class. So it कौन है ना, इटा गोटे कंस्ट्रक्टिविज्म है. आज क्लास रो एक्सपीरियंस रु मोर नुआ आरो जो आसीथिबा क्लास तार मोर इंप्रूवमेंट ता हबो. So previous experience ru I will improve my new class. So this is constructivism. Okay, sorry. So models of instructional design. जो instructional design हमें कथा ले, we are discussed regarding what is instructional design, how to design, what is the process in the planning stage, what to do, and during the process by taking by which steps we should go through, what is the systematic approach. Now, what are the models of instructional design? So there are many models regarding this instructional design. Among that, these are the 5 models that is reflected in your program. That is, one is ADDIE model, Tiki and Carry model, Assure model, ARCS model, and Cognitive Apprentices model. So these are the models we can follow for designing instruction. Okay. First one is ADDIE model. Anybody, is it visible to all?
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
You tell me what components are there in this model? What components are there?
Analyze, design,
Analyze, then design,
design,
then
then development,
development,
then implement and evaluation.
implement, and all are related to evaluation. Not after that, evaluation is
Yes,
not
yes,
there. The
yes.
evaluation is interrelated with other component. So it's a cyclic process or not? Is it a
It's a
cyclic?
cyclic process. Yes. Yes,
Why
ma'am.
do
It's
you
a
think
cyclic.
so? Why do you think so? Is it a cyclic process? Because you see the arrow marks
Yes.
here. Analysis. What it means? Analysis mean to? I'm एते सारा analysis कथा है इसलिए. What is analysis here? What will analyze?
Uh, Analyze the learner need.
Learners need. Okay, we'll analyze the learner need, interest, and their prior learning level. Okay, पिला मानकर
Yeah.
कौन need अच्छी, कौन interest अच्छी, से मानकर learning level को जाए अच्छी. We'll analyze that. Clear? Set evaluation से तो केमती link अच्छी, later on we'll discuss. Then after analyzing, what we are doing in the design phase,
Design.
on the basis. What is it? Sorry, sir. Okay. On the design phase, what we are doing now, we are clear about the level of the student, we are clear about the need of the student, we are clear about the interest of the student. On the basis of the need and interest and the learning level or the previous knowledge of the student, now we will designing the instruction for that children or student. Clear? नीड एनालिसिस करदेले, इंटरेस्ट जानले, लर्निंग लेवल जानीगले, नीड जानीगले. On the basis of that, we will design the instructions. Then, after designing, आम डिजाइन टा कौन करू, कौन मटेरियल रहिबो, डिजाइन includes, डिजाइन टा कौन रुहे, गोटे डिजाइन टे मु तैयारी कली. In that design, what will be the instructional goals? What contents will be placed? What materials we will use? How to assess? We will make a design of that. Go to design mu karteli. कि मते ए दरकार ए program. The program may be a short term program or a long term program. कौन तार goal रहिबो? Analysis कला पर मु frame कली, yes, if this is the need of the child, then this is the learning level, then these are the instructional goals. And to achieve these goals or to attain this goal, these strategies will be used. And for that strategies, these are the materials. A strategy गुड़ाक नवा, ये material नवा, ये assess करिबा, ये सब design कराई छिबो. Now on the basis of design, we will develop the program material or the instructional material. The print medium हो कि जो medium रे हम instructional को design करिबा, audio हो, video हो, जो हिसाब रे हो, हम तो develop करिबा. देखो माने place करिबा सब. आमे गोटे plan कर देले, designing रे हम plan कर देले कि yes, ए design टा रहिबो. तापर ताको हम develop करले, से material टा को हम develop करले, बस instruction design को हम develop करले. Develop कला पर कौन करिबा, ताको use करिबा. Will use for whom? The sample or the population. sample population जहाँ पे हमें तैयारी करचे, जो group of student पे हमें तैयारी करचे बा जो group of learner पे तैयारी करिचे, हमें तांको ऊपर बे implement करिबा. implement करले से माने केते लेवल जाके अचीव करले, आउ तांकर कोन नीड रही गला. again we will analyze and we design. So जो ए जो जिंस में चलेला, एटा cyclic process रहेला, and each step we can evaluate. Need analysis ठीक रे करा जायछि कि नाही, we must evaluate. कि जहाँ आम नीडटा जाना कथा ठीक रे जानी पारे कि ना डिजाइन कले देन वी आर आल्सो इवालुएटिंग द डिजाइन सब जिनस को मु ठीक रे डिजाइन करिया पे प्लानिंग करछि ना डिजाइन टा ठीक भाव रे हेछि कि नै कि कोटा को लेफ्ट आउट करिछि so evaluation is there and on the basis of that revision will be there जदि छाड़ी जाइछि we must add that तो रिवीजन हे गला again development गोटे मीडियम रे हम डेवलप कर देले इंस्ट्रक्शनल डिजाइन again I will evaluate that ठीक अछि कि नै if it is okay then we will implement that if any revision is required then we will revise on the basis of the feedback so development को हम केमती इवैल्यूएट कर पाबे एक्सपर्ट को देई परिबे रिव्यू करिया पे किछि गोटे वर्कशॉप करके हम ताको रिव्यू करि परिबा आफ्टर दैट सम रिवीजन पॉइंट्स इफ वी विल गेट देन वी विल इनकॉर्पोरेट द रिवीजन ताको रिवाइज करिबा देन वी विल इंप्लीमेंट अगेन ड्यूरिंग द आफ्टर इंप्लीमेंटेशन इंप्लीमेंट कर देली से टाइम में ताको देखिबी कि मु जहा चाहूथिली बा जो इंस्ट्रक्शनल गोल उडा अचीव करिवार थिला एटा इंप्लीमेंट करिया द्वारा ताहा अचीव हे पारुची ना नाही इफ यस इट्स ओके again we will analyze the other needs or if it need revision then we will revise and we will go for the process so this is the AD model A D T I in the center it is E okay this is the one model by which we can develop a instructional design this is Dickey and carry model this is more comprehensive than this AD model आमे कहा को comprehensive ए दिस टाइम भलो खराब कहि परिबानी इट्स अबाउट डिफरेंट मॉडल जोटा हमकु सुइटेबल लागिबो we can use that one so in the Dickey and carry model you see first is identifying instructional goal what I want कौन instructional goal रहे देखो what goal आमे सेन कथा हिथिले national goal basing on that educational goal and basing on that instructional goal clear I mean already we have discussed so identify the instructional goal to be achieved at that particular level tamar jodi education then what kind of instructional goals are there that should be achieved we must identify that at the first hand so for that what we must do we must conduct instructional analysis and also analysis of learners so first जदि हैला कि learner माने after this instructional process माने कौन learn करिवे then instructional analysis करिबा जेथि जणा पड़े what learners know and must recall and what they must be able to do and determine कौन जानी छंदी what is the previous knowledge and what to learn new then आमे जोटी analysis of learner कहिले सेठी पिलांगर learning level analysis of need interest strength weakness experience or previous knowledge previous experience ए सबु को हम analysis करिबा जोटी analyze learners context clear दिटा रहला there is no confusion then conduct an instructional analysis देखो आरो जाईची एपड analyze learner and context को learner सिखिबो को context सिखिबो को instruction रे सिखिबो सबु को analysis करा हला and it will give idea of right performance objectives goal always it is broad objective is specific suppose MES-34 बा education हमर तमर जो special paper अछि courseware development suppose is a paper तार गोटे बा तमर जदी education technology गोटे special paper नेला it has some goals से गोल को अचीव करिया पे तमर चारिटा पेपर रहिची चारटार प्रति ब्लॉक रहिची प्रति ब्लॉक रे प्रति यूनिट रहिची यूनिट रे केते कंटेंट सब कंटेंट रहिची तो आज होल जतल देखिबा से इंस्ट्रक्शनल गोल आसी जिवो गोल कोन गोल हम हासिल करिया को चाहूचे we can say that गोल हमर रहिबो गोटे टेक्नोलॉजी बा आईसीटी इंटीग्रेशन पे गोटे कांसेप्ट हमर क्लियर करा हबो then you will acquire the ICT skill to integrate ICT in education and you will be able to design instructional you will able to develop instructional design in different by using different medium. So ଏଇଟା ଧର ଗୋଲ ରହିଲା ବ୍ରଡ ସେନ୍ସ ରେ, ତାପରେ ତାକୁ ଆଧାର କରିକି କେତେ ଗୁଡେ ପେପର ହେଇଗଲା, ପେପର କେତେ ଗୁଡେ ବ୍ଲକ ରହିଲା, ୟୁନିଟ ରହିଲା। ୟୁନିଟ କୁ ଆସିଲେ ସପୋଜ we are discussing regarding models of instructional design, ତ यार ऑब्जेक्टिव कौन हबो? You will know what you will know about different types of instructional design models. केते टाइप रो अछि तुम जदि पचारिबि तुम कोन कहबो बे केते टाइप रो अछि? How many types of instructional design models are there? केते प्रकार रो अछि?
3 types, ma'am.
Okay, 3 types. आउ के कहबो? Okay, so हम डिस्कशन स्टार्टिंग रे अछि। जदि एटा को देखिबा हम केते टाइप रो कहबा बे?
5, ma'am.
5.
5.
So after discussion, जेहे हम डिस्कशन करू जे तुम तीनटा कहिलो, जे हम डिस्कशन केते कंप्लीट हे will get holistic idea about models of instructional design. So in my class, I want that you all will know, or you will know that there are 5 models of instructional design like AD model, Dickey and Carey model, Assure model, ARCS model, cognitive apprenticeship model. तो मोर क्लास सरला बेलू तुम समस्ते कहि परबे 5टा मॉडल अछि। Then what else? You can explain the process of each model, or you can explain, you can state the components of each model. Prati model le kon component achi. Suppose in AD model now you can say there is 5 components like analyze, design, development, implement, and evaluation. But in Dickey and Carey model, you can count how many components are there. How many components are there in Dickey and Carey model? Sorry, Dick and Carey model. 10 components are there.
11.
Yes.
11.
How?
10. 10
Okay.
component there.
10 components are there. Clear? So after this class, if I ask you what are the components, name the component, you will be able to tell or not? If I ask what are the components of AD model, now you all are able to tell or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
We can tell.
Yes. So that is the objective of today's class. So objective is short term. Okay. In my class, in today's class, what the learner will able to tell, explain, state, elaborate, analyze. Okay. So this is specified for this content. Today we are discussing about unit 1, and unit 1 you have some objectives that is written in the preliminary page. देखिबो objective लिखा है and सबू को मिसे की all total को नेकी तम जो special paper गोटे goal set करा है. So goal are always broader and objectives are specific. So here first hand we must identify the instructional goals. Then we must analyze the instruction, then learner and context will analyze, and on the basis of that we will formulate the performance object. That means objective to be performed by the students. Now we are clear about the objectives. Then what kind of assessment instruments will be used? We must develop that. Why assessment kahinki achi? Na jodi these if these are the objectives, then to what extent the student has achieved the objective, it can only be known by assessing. I mean, assess करके ही जानी परिवे जे केते दूर objective satisfy हिचने. Because now I ask the question, तमे तर समस्ते कहि परला. Now I am clear that yes, my students are able to answer that what are the components in the different model. That means you have learned the components of different model. तमे बुझी पारछ. केम जानली मो तम पचारली तमे कहिलो. Suppose now एबे कहिलो केतेटा component अछि Dick and Carey model रे? You tell me now. How many components are there?
10 components.
10
How many
components.
components are there?
10.
How many components?
10
Okay,
10
okay. Yes,
components, ma'am.
thank you. How many components are there in ID model?
5 components.
5.
Okay, what are that?
5
Anybody can
components.
name that? Anybody can name that?
5 model.
Analyze,
5.
Analyze,
design, analyze, design, uh,
development,
then
implementation, evaluation.
Development,
development, then
evaluation,
implement our
implementation.
And in the center, evaluation.
yes,
Okay, that means you have achieved the objective or not? Now you all have achieved the objective, that is specific objective, that is you can state the components of different model. Till now we have discussed two model. Now we have discussed one model and we are discussing the second model. So in the first model there are 5 components. Now you are able to tell me. So you are able to state the name of the 5 components. That means that objective has been achieved. How I could able to know that? Because I assessed you by asking question. Clear? Okay. So
yes, ma'am.
to know about the to know about to what extent the objective has been achieved, we must develop the assessment instrument. Now after that, we will develop the instructional strategy, co strategy ba co technique use kariba. Then for that strategy, what kind of materials are required, we must develop that. Then during the process, the formative evaluation, I am clarifying here. When I am discussing with you, I am asking some questions for discussion. That is your formative evaluation. Because during the process, I am asking to what extent you have understood. If you have not understood, I am again and again repeating the thing to help you during the situation. But if I will complete this unit and after that I will conduct a test, then it is the assessment tool that we are doing at the end is your summative evaluation. Suppose ଏବେ ମୁଁ ପଚାରୁଥିଲି ତ ସେଇଟା ଯୋଉ assessment by evaluation ଆମେ କହୁଥିଲେ, that is not your summative. ଏବେ ତମକୁ question ପଚାରିଲି, ତମେ ଯଦି ବୁଝିଛ it's okay, otherwise I am again repeating, revising the things. Then it is formative. Question पचारली बा, group discussion करेली बा, I am giving you a situation, you need to analyze that situation and you will explain me. Then these are the formative evaluation, because all the things I am doing during the process of our instructional process, and I am helping you or guiding you at the same time. I am again and again repeating that. I am letting your friends or your peers to discuss on that. So all these things are formative in nature. But after completion of these units, suppose I will frame question in Google Form and I will send to you to know about what you have understood. Then, or during the exam, suppose after completion of this will appear the exam. Exam hall tame exam dabo, exam appear kari saribo. Suppose kichi bujhino. Is there any scope to revise? Is there any scope for learning? পরীক্ষা হলে বসিল, যেতিকি আসলা লেখিল, যেতিকি আসিলানি ছাড়িল বা ঠিকরে লেখি পারলনি, সেটি কিছু স্কোপ আছে কি তোমাকে তাকে ইমপ্রুভ করিয়া পাই? ইজ দেয়ার এনি স্কোপ?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
সেইটি মু তোমাকে কিছু হেল্প করি পারিবি কি? At that time I can help you?
No.
No.
No. Okay. So after end of the paper or at the end of the session or end of the semester, when you are appearing the exam, that means there we are testing to what extent you have achieved the objective, but there is less scope for your improvement. So that is summative in nature. But here, when I'm asking you this question to you, then this means I am assessing you and will help you to improve your learning level. That is formative in nature. So when we are going through the instructional strategy, when you are developing instructional material, and during that time only we have to design the formative evaluation and also summative evaluation. Now all these things will be there. Lastly, summative evaluation karne. If during formative evaluation I will find some kind of difficulty, then again I will analyze the learner's need. कौन पे पिलाटा बुझी पानी, where is the problem, को context रा अच्छी से context को match करूनी की. Again I will go for the analysis of learners. Okay. And ऊपर एबे टिके देखिबा ऊपर एरो गुडाको केमती हेची. जदि एबे परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ ऑब्जेक्टिव लिखि सारलेनी. Okay. Performance of objective जेतेले आमे लिखिचे, at that time if we are not clear, then again we can analyze the instruction को analyze करि परबे, yes we have satisfied the objective or not. जदि ठीक लागुनी आमे ताकू कोन करिबा रिवाइज करिबा इंस्ट्रक्शन को एंड जदि आमे प्रोसेस टा आमे स्टार्ट करि दैचे कोठी रिवीजन हे परिबो रिवीजन करिबा आमे इंस्ट्रक्शन को एंड तापर आमे असेसमेंट इंस्ट्रूमेंट तयारी करिबा और रिवीजन ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शन परे आमे इंस्ट्रक्शनल स्ट्रेटजी पे जिबा कारण ताकू भी रिवीजन दरकार पड़िबो वंस वी हैव रिवाइज्ड मींस इन एवरी स्टेप यू नीड इट विल नीड रिवीजन सो सब जगह रे पूर्ण थरा में रिवीजन करिबो इफ इट इज रिक्वायर्ड जदि नाही देन मझीर जो फ्लोटा सेटा चलिबो okay so that is about dig and carry model then assure model clear केतरा मॉडल हमें डिस्कशन करले बे टू मॉडल्स as this unit has some new concepts so I have taken only one unit for today कारण ए मॉडल गुडा को तुमको बुझिया को पड़िबो ए मॉडल को बुझिले ही you can design instructional you can develop instructional design in different medium कारण गोटे मीडियम रे बुझी गले तुम सब मीडियम रे करि पारिबो बट यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड बिकॉज दिस मॉडल देयर आर फाइव मॉडल इट एक्सप्लेन कराई जाईची एंड as the need of the instructional practice और जो डिजाइन हमें जो इंस्ट्रक्शनल डिजाइन हमें तैयारी करबा को चाहू छे ए मॉडल भितरु कोटा बेस्ट फिटेड हबा हमें ताकू नबा को पड़िबो for that reason we must have a clear picture regarding all this kind of model जति मॉडल कहले कोटा गोटे फिक्स नुहे को कंटेंट पे तुमको लागु कि ना मु ए इंस्ट्रक्शनल डिजाइन पे ए मॉडल टा को यूज करबी इट विल बी ओके फॉर मी और ओके फॉर द इंस्ट्रक्शनल प्रैक्टिस इंस्ट्रक्शनल डिजाइन देन यू कैन यूज ताको जस्टिफाई खाली करे पड़े व्हाई आई एम टेकिंग दैट ओके सो आ गोटे आसिला अश्योर मॉडल देखो एटा मध्ये से शॉर्ट फॉर्म रे जिम एडी मॉडल थिला डी कैन कैरी किंतु गोटे माने जे करथले तांको ना हिसाब रे हितला किंतु एडी मॉडल आ अश्योर मॉडल तार शॉर्ट फॉर्म गुडा को रिप्रेजेंट करा जायछि जेमति एडी मॉडल रे पांचटा कंपोनेंट थिला अश्योर रे केतरा लेटर अछि हाउ मेनी लेटर्स आर देयर सॉरी हाउ मेनी अल्फाबेट्स यस अल्फाबेट्स आर देयर 6
Six, ma'am.
okay then how many components are there
6
Six,
components.
ma'am.
6 components okay now you tell me what points are repeated को पॉइंट गुडा आगुरु भी हम कथा है जे एठी मध्ये अछि कोटा नुवा अछि फर्स्ट हला एनालाइज लर्नर्स नीड कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स
6
second hela state standards and object mu padi dochi I am reading once you also read the points and tell me what are new in this model okay which step is new in this model first one is analyze learners need second is state standard or objective for the instruction specifying what learner will be able to do following the instruction the third one is select strategies technology media and material for imparting instruction then the next one that starts from U is utilize technology media and material or planning how to use these technology media and material then R require learner participation planning how learner will be engaged actively as a group and individual in learning E that is evaluate and revise okay are you finding any similarities between the previous two model and these two model is there any similarity
Yes, ma'am.
Analyze,
the previous model
analysis,
ADDIE model the second one D and carry model is one by one is just cite one point each one if all are interested tell me
Analyze is there. First, in RD model, there.
last one every case in both the model isn't
Yes.
it
Yes,
first step in D can carry that is not the first step but it is an important step that is analysis of learners need isn't it it is there in the second step but it is also an important step and in ADDIE model that is the first step that is analyze learners need then state standards and objectives ADDIE model रे सेटा थिला कि नाही
आरडी मॉडल रे
डिजाइन थिला गोटे मु कहितली प्लानिंग
ma'am.
जो डिजाइन है in that design what we are mentioning the objective the strategy to be implemented the material to be placed or used the assessment instrument to be designed. कौन सब करिबा डिजाइन रे कौन रहिबो, then objective is there or not?
Yes,
Design
ma'am.
phase re we are formulating the objectives. Okay, in the Dick and Query model, Dick and Query model you can see here, right? Performance objectives, that means here also objective there. So state standards and objectives, here one thing it is added, the state standard. If we are implementing this model for a particular program in our state of Odisha, okay, so what are the state standards? Because state to state, nation to nation, many things vary on the basis of the context and learning needs of the learner. कोठी आमे रहुचे केते स्कोप आम पे अछि, आम लर्निंग लेवल केते, on the basis of that सब स्टेट पे गोटे स्टैंडर्ड डिफरेंट स्टैंडर्ड रखा जाउची, and nation to nation also the standard differs. So here in the second step, the state standards and objective for the instruction, specifying what learners will able to do following the instruction are mentioned. What is the state standard? That it must, ଆମେ କହିବା suppose କହିବା ଆମର state ରେ suppose ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ program run କରୁଛେ, suppose B.Ed program କଥା କହିବା, ଆମର after graduation 2-year B.Ed course ହଉଛି, but central RI ରେ ଦେଖିବା ତାଙ୍କର program differ ହଉଛି. ଗୋଟେ ଆମ state norm ହିସାବରେ ଆମେ କରୁଛେ 1 year B.Ed ଥିଲା, ଆମେ ତାକୁ 2 year B.Ed program କରୁଛେ, ଆମର integrated approach ନାହିଁ. କାରଣ ଆମର ଯେତେବେଳେ ଟିଚରଟେ ହବା ପାଇଁ ପ୍ରାଇମେରୀ ଲେଭେଲ ପାଇଁ ଡେଲେଡ୍ କୋର୍ସ ଅଛି, ସେକେଣ୍ଡାରୀ ପାଇଁ ଆମର B.Ed କୋର୍ସ ଅଛି. ଆମ ଷ୍ଟେଟ୍ ଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡାର୍ଡ ହିସାବରେ ଯୋଉ ଗୋଟେ ଟିଚର ଗୋଟେ କ୍ଲାସକୁ ପଢେଇବା ପାଇଁ ହ୍ୱାଟ କାଇଣ୍ଡ ଅଫ କ୍ୱାଲିଟିଜ ଆର୍ ରିକ୍ୱାର୍ଡ, ସେ ହିସାବରେ ଆମର କୋର୍ସ ଡିଜାଇନ କରାଯାଉଛି କି ଆମର ଷ୍ଟେଟରେ ଏଇ ଜିନିଷର ଦରକାର ରହିଛି, ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଆମକୁ ଏଇଭଳିଆ କୋର୍ସ ଗୁଡାକ ଆମେ ପ୍ଲେସ୍ କରିବା. ଓକେ, ଲାଇକ୍ MA ଏଜୁକେସନ କୋର୍ସ ଇଗ୍ନୋରେ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ଅଛି. ଇଫ୍ ୱିଲ୍ ଗୋ ଫର୍ ଉତ୍କଳ ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟି ସେତେ ନାହିଁ, ବଟ୍ ଯୋଉଠି ଅଛି ସପୋଜ ଆମେ କହିବା ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟିର ଷ୍ଟେଟ୍ ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟିର ଅଛି, ସମସ୍ତ କୋର୍ସରେ କିଛି କିଛି ଡିଫରେନ୍ସ ଅଛି. ସେମାନେ ତାଙ୍କର ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟି ଯୋଉ ଜୋନ୍କୁ ନେଇକି ଅଛି ତାର ଗୋଟେ ଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡାର୍ଡକୁ ନେଇକି ଆମର ଏଇ ଜୋନ୍ ପାଇଁ ଏଇଟା ଦରକାର, ଆମେ ତାକୁ ପ୍ଲେସ୍ କରିବା. ଆଜ୍ ଏ ହୋଲ୍ ଯଦି ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ କ୍ୱାଲିଟି ସ୍କୁଲ ବା ଧର ଆମେ ସେକେଣ୍ଡାରୀ ସ୍କୁଲ କଥା କହିବା, ଆମ ଷ୍ଟେଟ୍ ଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡାର୍ଡରେ 5T କୁ ଆମେ ଇମ୍ପ୍ଲିମେଣ୍ଟ କରୁଛେ. 5T ର ଏତିକି ଜିନିଷକୁ ଆମର ଆମେ ଯେମିତି ହେଲେ ଏନସିଓର କରିବା ସ୍କୁଲରେ. ପ୍ରାଇମେରୀ ସ୍କୁଲରେ ଲର୍ନିଂ ଆଉଟକମ୍ କୁ ଆମେ ଏନସିଓର କରୁଛେ, ଆମେ କରିବା. ଅପ୍ ଟୁ ଗ୍ରେଡ୍ 3 ନାଉ FLN ରେ we must emphasize these things. ଆମେ ଦେଖିଲେ ଆମେ ବହି ପଢି ପାରୁନେ, ଏମିତି ନ୍ୟୁଜରେ ଆସିଲା, ରିପୋର୍ଟ ଆସିଲା, what is the standard of our students? ଆମ ଷ୍ଟେଟ୍ ପାଇଁ ବହି ପଢି ପାରିବା ପାଇଁ what standard we are setting, ତାକୁ ଗୋଟେ ଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡାର୍ଡ ସେଟ୍ କରିବା, ତା ସହିତ ଆମେ ଅବଜେକ୍ଟିଭ ବି ଫର୍ମୁଲେଟ କରିବା. ସୋ ଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡାର୍ଡ ମାନେ ଗୋଟେ ଫିକ୍ସଡ ଜିନିଷ କି ଆମ ଷ୍ଟେଟର ସବୁ ଜାଗାରେ ଏତିକି ଜିନିଷ ହବ, and this will be the objective. ସେଇଟା ଧର ସେଇଟା ବହୁତ ବଢିଆ ହଉଛି ଆମେ କହିବା ବାହାର ଜାଗାରେ, but that is not, ଫିନଲାଣ୍ଡରେ ବହୁତ ବଢିଆ ହଉଛି, ଓପନ କିଛି ବୁକ୍ ନକାଲେ ସେମାନେ, but that is not applicable for us. ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଆମେ ସେଇ ଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡାର୍ଡକୁ ମେଣ୍ଟେନ୍ କରିପାରିବୁ. we can adopt some best practices, but ଆମର ସବୁ କଣ୍ଟେକ୍ସଚୁଆଲ କରିକି ଆମେ ଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡାର୍ଡ ଗୋଟେ ବନେଇବା, ଆମର ଏଇ ଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡାର୍ଡକୁ ଆମେ ସବୁ ପିଲା ମିଟ୍ କରିପାରୁଥିବା ଦରକାର. that may be a school curriculum, or that may be a graduation course, or that may be a post graduation course, or any other course. ଗୋଟେ ଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡାର୍ଡକୁ ଫିଟ୍ କରିବା ଆମେ, and along with that we will formulate the objective for different instructions. Then select strategies, technology, media, material. So here in ID model ए दीटा को इसको हमें combine करते हैं, but here in the Assure model we are specifying this thing. Just because देखो देखती कि आज जाएं कथा है, we have taken one class, I have taken earlier, and in today class if you go through the process, the same thing is repeating. That means all are focusing the same thing, but some are representing that in a very comprehensive manner to get a clarity over the concept. It's same ଜିନିଷ ଅଛି କିନ୍ତୁ clarity କି ହଁ analysis କରାହେଲା, then we are formulating objective and setting standard for on the basis of our state, then we are selecting strategies, media, technology, material. We are clarifying what to select, what to design. We are designing strategy, technology, media. Here we are telling yes, we have to integrate technology and media, and that must be specified and that must be selected. Then utilize technology media material. That means first ମୁଁ design କଲି ତାକୁ ଏବେ develop କରିଲା ବେଳକୁ ମୁଁ ତାକୁ use କରିବି. Utilize technology media material planning, how to use technology media material. Content to be prepared, previewed and provided. So ଆମେ content ତିଆରି କରିବା and ଯୋଉଠି use କରିବା କଥା media କୁ any material resource, any link, any image, any box and in any technology ସବୁ ଆମେ integrate କରିକି ଏଠି ଆମେ content କୁ ତିଆରି କରିଦେଲେ. Then R, require learner participation. Here also again we are focusing on activity to be conducted to engage the learner. ଯେମିତି କି ତମର ଧର ଦେଇଛି ବହୁତ ଗୁଡିଏ ପ୍ରୋଗ୍ରାମ ମାନେ ଥିଙ୍କିଂ ବେସ୍ଡ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଗୁଡାକ ଦିଆଯାଇଛି ମଝିରେ because to ensure your active participation during the study. जोटा कि आमे जेहेतु आमे गोटे कोन एटा कहबे 6टा क्लास हम सारिवार अछि, so I have not taken that, but you all must go through the concept given in the box, the case study given in the box and the activities given after major contents. बहुत गुड एक्टिविटी अछि. गोटे एग्जांपल देके आज करली सेमती निजे पढिबो. इट्स वन टाइप ऑफ सेल्फ लर्निंग मटेरियल जेतु आमे खाली ओरिएंट कर देबो एंड यू विल गो थ्रू द बुक इन डिटेल to pursue the course and ସେଇଥିରୁ ବି ତମର ବହୁତ ବଢିଆ ଆଇडिଆ ମିଳିବ because they are very nice course, very good explanatory course because ସେ ବହୁତ ଜିନିଷ ଦେଇ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ତ ତମେ ତାକୁ ନିଜେ ପଢିବ and these activities that are planned in your design is to hold your interest, to engage yourself individually in the learning process and जदि आमे एबे डिस्कशन करछे to engage you all in the group. जेतरा आमे एठी कथा होचे discussion करछे, it's a collaborative, it's a group discussion, but when you will refer the material individually, that is individual learning. So the activities are there to engage you and to ensure the participation of the learners. Then evaluate and revise. Now the material is the instructional design is prepared. Now now we will implement that and we will evaluate its effectiveness. केमती हमें करिबा ना implement करला परे कोन हमें देखुचे पिला मानक कोन चेंजेस देखुचे. You can evaluate by using different instruments, assessment instruments, and on the basis of the feedback we will refine. So almost this is same as the AD model as well. It has more similarity with the AD model and also it has similarity with the dig and carry model because almost all components are also covered there. Next comes RHCS model. Okay, how many components are there here in this model?
5, ma'am.
ARCS. How many model?
No,
How
ma'am.
many
Four,
components?
four, four.
Four, ma'am.
4 component, ma'am.
4 components.
Okay. What are that?
Attention, relevance, confidence, satisfaction.
Okay, attention. In this model, what is given? First is attention. Need to draw learner's attention. It also in any way means this need analysis because analysis of students or learners interest, isn't it? If we are aware of the learners interest, then only we can hold their interest or hold their attention. So the first step is need to draw learner's attention. हमको learner attention को draw करेबार अछि. For that what we must know? We must know about their interest. The interest टा जानथिले सेही भला जिंस जदि मु instructional design रे रखि देबी then definitely सेमन का attention टा रहिबो. So analysis will be there. So first step is attention. Attention is given the foremost important. Then relevancy. Whatever learning experience they have, it must be relevant. जो एबे previous knowledge कथा कहूचे जोटा कि आमे रखिबा को चाहूचे learning needs जहाँ रहूचे on the way to ता से learning need को fulfill करिबा पे जो learning experience को आमे place करिबा को चाहूचे the previous knowledge previous learning experience on the basis of what they will construct their new learning experience, that must be relevant आ ताको motivate करि पारुथबो. जो आमे जिनसोडा का रखिबा से सब रेलेवेंट हबा दरकार. सपोज आमे कोर्स डिजाइन पढुचे जो भी कंपोनेंट्स थे जो भी कंटेंट हमें डिस्कस करें ऑलमोस्ट रिलेटेड टू द course design. Suppose in the preliminary stage, we have discussed about the learning process, behaviorism, cognitivism, constructivism. But that is not in this course. But it has relation because जो instructional design करिबा में सेतिर पिलांका learning हबो. So before that, we must understand learning means what and how. What are the process of learning? ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଆମେ ଟିକେ discussion करले. That means it has relevancy in this concept. And learning ଯଦି ବୁଝି न ପାରିବା प्रोसेस ऑफ लर्निंग को जदि हम न बुझी पारिबा ताले हम इंस्ट्रक्शनल डिजाइन टे तैयारी करि पारिबा नाही. सो फॉर दैट रीजन वी मस्ट अंडरस्टैंड द रेलेवेंसी ऑफ द contents. Whatever is discussed in the instructional design, that must have the relevant. And confidence. What instruction enhance the feeling of confidence and self-efficacy learners are motivated. कौन जेतेबेले केतेले when we are confident केतेले हमें confident होचे जेतेबेले हमें गोटे जिस बुझी पारुचे जानी पारुचे. सो जो भी इंस्ट्रक्शन हमें डिजाइन करिबा दैट मस्ट डेवलप द कॉन्फिडेंस ऑफ द लर्नर. देन सैटिस्फैक्शन जेतला हमें बुझी पारले हमें जानी पारले हमको भलो लागिला डेफिनेटली आम भितरे हमें से डिजायर्ड आउटकम को एक्वायर करि पारबा एंड इट विल सैटिस्फाई एंड विल मोटिवेट अस. शिखिबा प्रोसेस जेतला हमें गोटे भलो लागिला हम अटेंशन ड्र होला रेलेवेंट कंटेंट मटेरियल हमको मिलिला बा रेलेवेंट इंस्ट्रक्शन उडा हम जानी पारले जोटा कि हम कॉन्फिडेंस को बिल्ट अप करला हमर क्लैरिटी आनिला. Then definitely we are getting satisfied with that, and this is your ARCS model. Then the last model, that is your cognitive apprenticeship model. Okay, this is cognitive apprenticeship model. What is this model? Here three things. Here 6 stages are there: modeling, coaching, scaffolding, articulation, reflection, exploration. Okay, and the clubbing kara jaise dekho receptive meaningful learning, metacognition, and application or transfer. Now you all read these points. Modeling kon kahichi, what is coaching, what is scaffolding, what is articulation, what is reflection, what is exploration, and let me know how it is different from other model. Please all of you go through this model. देखिला पढ़िला.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
क्लियर. नाउ टिके देखिबा आ टिके तक चिंता करो थिंकिंग प्रोसेस रे आ जणे जणे मते को व्हाट इज मॉडलिंग. I think 4 of you are there. So each member you speak about one, later on you can repeat. Anybody now confident to discuss?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
First, who will discuss first one, modeling?
Modeling that is providing a conceptual model, ma'am. That means we have to provide some concept to the students that we want to discuss or we want to teach them.
Okay, providing a conceptual model, the brief idea about any concept. Is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, anyone will add to it? ଆଉ କି କିଛି କହିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛ ସେ ପଏଣ୍ଟରେ? I mean,
No,
we'll
ma'am.
have some discussion in 15 minutes. Okay, anyone? Okay, so here teacher gives idea about the task or about the concept or the content. Okay, it gives a brief about the content or concept to be dealt. Then next one is coaching. Coaching.
Ma'am, coaching that implies a knowledge acquisition and development of a specific mental model. That from the previous one, that model has been given by the teacher or instructor, but in the coaching phase, that we provide more another related information to the students so that they can get some clarity over the model, ma'am.
ओके सपोज एनी खेल देखा कोचिंग केमती आम आग आम कोच से डेमोन्स्ट्रेट कर एमती करवा कथा ओके गोटे कॉन्सेप्ट आइडिया दौरान देन व्हेन द स्टूडेंट्स आर प्रैक्टिसिंग देन दे आर गाइडिंग देम दे आर प्रोवाइडिंग फीडबैक नो एमती कर सेमती धर सेमती इजंट इट कोच मैंने एमती कहउछन ना नै व्हेन दे आर प्रैक्टिसिंग एनी फॉर एनी गेम जो भी गेम की स्पोर्ट्स शिखुछन से माने फर्स्ट देखौछन ए जिंसटा एमती हवा कथा तापर जते बड़े प्रैक्टिस हुए ଯେତେବେଳେ ଟାସ୍କଟା ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟ ବା ପାର୍ଟିସିପାଣ୍ଟ ଯେତେବେଳେ ପରଫର୍ମ କରନ୍ତି ସେତେବେଳକୁ ସେମାନେ କଣ କରନ୍ତି ନା ସେମାନଙ୍କ ଦେଖନ୍ତି କେମିତି ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟଟା ପରଫର୍ମ କରୁଛି ଆଉ ସେଇ ହିସାବରେ ସେମାନେ ତାକୁ ଗାଇଡ କରନ୍ତି କି ଏଇଠି ଇମ୍ପ୍ରୁଭମେଣ୍ଟ ଦରକାର ଏଇଟା ଭଲ ହଉଛି ଏଟାକୁ ଏମିତି ଧର ସେଟାକୁ ସେମିତି କର ସୋ ଦିସ୍ ଫିଡବ୍ୟାକ୍ସ are given to the learner on the basis of their performance and these scaffolds जोठी दरकार सेठी पिला को हेल्प करूची इंप्रूव करिया पे scaffolding means wherever it is required there they are given support to develop so first हैला कोचिंग हैला कोचिंग रे से माने scaffolding पे गोटे फीडबैक गुडा को दिया जाउची से फीडबैक मिल गला से फीडबैक बेसिस रे तांकर इंप्रूवमेंट हबो सो एठी मॉडलिंग आ कोचिंग रे मॉडलिंग ता डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन बाय द टीचर देन कोचिंग और गिविंग ए conceptual idea then coaching रे let the students are allowed to practice and during the practice of the task or during the performance of the task the teacher guides and provides them feedback जोटा कि थर्ड स्टेप जो स्कैफोल्डिंग अच्छी डेवलपमेंट एंड स्टेबलाइजेशन ऑफ कॉग्निटिव स्किल्स और ह्यूरिस्टिक ऑफ प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग ए स्किल गुड़ाक तांकर डेवलप होची कारण जो जगह असुविधा रहउची सेठी तांकू थ्रू फीडबैक थ्रू रीटीचिंग थ्रू क्लूज तांकू सपोर्ट दिया हे जाउची ओके सो दीस थ्री स्टेप्स कंबाइंड रिसेप्टिव meaningful learning means they're receiving from whom the learner they're receiving from whom
Teacher.
From the teacher or instructor.
okay
Instructor.
from the teacher or instructor okay से जहाँ जे instruction बा कोच बा टीचर बा इंस्ट्रक्टर टू से रिसीव करूछन इन ए वेरी मीनिंगफुल वे एमती हबा कथा then they are performing ताकर जोठी improvement दरकार they are getting feedback they are improving in that particular aspect so it is scaffolding so तीनटा aspect को हम बुझिले then articulation what is articulation
Ma'am,
Articulation
teacher.
means
yes कुह जी जणे कुह जे कहि न कुह yes
मैम टीचर जहाँ भी ताको मॉडलिंग और कोचिंग बेले जहाँ भी ताको डेमोन्स्ट्रेट करके देखेला ताको जहाँ सपोर्ट देला तापरे छुआटा टीचर जेमितिया भी जेमितिया से जिनसटा डेमोन्स्ट्रेट करके देखेला जोठी ताको प्रॉब्लम होउची से माने जहाँ भाबुची सेटा को एक्सप्रेस करिवो जहाँ भी
yes
भाबुची
articulation they are trying to do that on the basis आउ के कहबो हां आउ जने कहउतले कुह
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, articulation that refers to verbal articulation thought process, thinking aloud. That means in this process, the teacher has already given the instruction to the students, and here the students try to remember or to implement with himself. That means in his or own way. That he is trying to make it clear from his sides, ma'am.
yes that means they have received demonstration hela, they have observed the demonstration, now they are trying to perform, they are getting feedback from the teachers. Now they are thinking, why I am not able to do like that when teacher mu jodi emti se jodi gote demonstrate kale mor koti asubidha rahuchi, why I am not able to do that, where I need improvement, जोटा कि निजको निज प्रश्न पचारिबा, निज विषय चिंता करिया मोर एटा भलो होची, मोर कोठी असुविधा रहउची. ओके, जोटा मेटा कॉग्निशन कहउछ, थिंकिंग अबाउट थिंकिंग, मोर जदी एमतिया होची काहे की होची, I am reflecting on my act only. The second step अछि articulation, then reflection. Articulation means जानिया को चाहूची, thought process रे एटा होची मोर काहे की एमितिया हे जाउची, तांकर काहे की सेमितिया होची. बहुत जिनस आमे घरे कला को सपोज घरे भी कि जिनस तयारी करछे, मां को देखि कि पिठा तयारी करछे, कहछे मां तमर केमति एमति होची मोर काहे होउनी, एमति होची ना हमर आछे ना नै, कि आमे जदि कि छोटे मॉडल कि छोटे घरे तयारी करछे बा बाबा संगे बसी करछे, तो बाबा तमर हे जाउची मोर काहे हे पाउनी, एमति भलो रे हे पाउनी, काहे ठीक शेप रे हे पारुनी. এই जो जिनस करबा रोसई करूचे, एते सुंदर टेस्ट आसले मोर कोठी असुविधा रहिला, एंड सेटा को मु चिंता करिके अगेन articulate करूची, reflect करूची, and I am improving. So say जो metacognition, this level is known as metacognition, both articulation and reflection, because I am comparing, I am thinking of why these things are happening, then I am reflecting where is the problem, where I need improvement. First ला मु चिंता करिबी मोर काहे एमति होची, in what way this is difference, then where and why this difference is occurring. So this is about thinking about our own thinking, that is metacognition. मु निज act ऊपर मु जतले चिंता करूची, that is reflection. मु निज thinking ऊपर जतले मु कहू that is articulation, केमती कले मु सेटा करि पारिबी, what need, what changes is required, how I could achieve, केमती मो मां को भला पिठारे कर परबी, मोर को जिंसटा को इंप्रूव कले मोर हे जिवो, बा मु केमिति कले से केमिति करछन मते सेमती करिया कले मते कोन करिवा को हेबो. So these both the thing, articulation, reflection is metacognition, means thinking about our own activity, own thinking process, and it leads to exploration. सेठी हमको गोटे नुआ आइडिया जनरेट हला, नुआ जिनस आमे पाई पारुचे, समटाइम्स दैट एक्सप्लोर करूचे, दैट इज एप्लीकेशन ट्रांसफर. ओ एमती हला ए भले होची, बस ये जदी एमती करि पाले मु एई ढंगरे करले मु सेई जिनसटा को अचीव करि पारिबी. So this is your exploration. So in this model we have gone through these 6 steps: modeling, coaching, scaffolding, articulation, reflection, and exploration. And this is mostly related to our constructive approach, because metacognition asla thinking upar thinking asilani, gote group re be jinso discuss kari pariba, jamku demonstrate karike taku observe karile taku nijuku improve kale. So these are about all the 5 models. Now learning design, जेतले आमे मॉडल उडा क जानि गेले लर्निंग डिजाइन करिबा, ता माने what are the components to be keep on our mind or to be considered or to be concerned about while designing for learning. First, the tasks to be performed by the learner, then resource to be a resource required to perform the particular task by the learner, then what is the role of the teacher and what desired outcome we want by that kind of task. पिला माने कोन टास्क ता परफॉर्म करिवे, से टास्क ता करिबा पे what kind of resources they need, कोन दरकार तांको मटेरियल, सेथरे एज ए टीचर what is my role, how I can support, how I can guide them, then से टास्क ता करिबा द्वारा तांकर कोन आउटकम से माने तांको पाखरे कोन गोटे आमे चेंजेस देखि पारि, what outcome we can observe in them. Okay, so this is the learning design. आपको बोधे हाउ एक्सप्लेन करबा दरकार नै, बिकॉज़ हमें जत्ते कथा हे आसिले से क्वालिफाई हे जाउ जे लर्निंग डिजाइन ने these 4 things are very important. So it is all about our फर्स्ट यूनिट. आम आज गोटे ब्लॉक रो गोटे यूनिट के ही कवर मु करली, बिकॉज़ ओके गोटे यूनिट के बिकॉज़ इट बहुत गुडे मॉडल थिला. सो आई थॉट ऑफ कि मु एते मॉडल विषय कहिबी सब हैंग आउट हे जिवो, बिकॉज़ दिस इज न्यू थिंग टू यू, एते गुडे मॉडल अछि. ओके, सो 2 घंटा डिस्कशन बहुत भलो थिला तुमनको इंटरैक्शन. थैंक यू ऑल फॉर योर इंटरैक्शन. आई होप तुम कि छोटा आइडिया पाइलो आज रो जो डिस्कशन हमर हैला.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
Yes, ma'am.
କିଏ ଗୋଟେ sum up କରିପାରିବେ ଆଜି ଆମେ କଣ କଣ discussion କଲେ? Anyone can sum up it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, from the very beginning that we came to know that we are going to go with our new course material that I have already informed to RC, and thank you for taking this seriously and discussing it. The course material MES 134. And then from the beginning that is, you have told summarize all of the blocks and the units of this course material, as well as from the first block you have taken the first unit as well, that you have taken it very tactically, that it is new for us, and you taken the first unit to clarify our doubts. That's we have new to this the course, so it will be better to understand the first thing, then we can go further. And from the beginning, very beginning, that as you know that we have to understand that the learning process, and you firstly gives the example of behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructivism first, and through this behaviorism process, you also discuss about Thorndike model and Pavlov learning and Skinner also. And then with the cognitive process, you also give an example of Piaget, and also in the constructivism, you discuss about the process of constructivism and how the learner constructs their knowledge. And then you would give us the example that factors determining the learning, and then about self-learning. Then within instructional design, you would show us the PowerPoint presentation of how to design that, and each point that gain the attention and inform objective to the learner and prior learning, etc. And then you also told us the three types of the instructional design, and within that you tell and test and tutorial and reflection guides. And after that you would come to very nicely to the models of instructional design, that we came to know about RD model and Dig and Carry model, Assure model, ARCS model, and cognitive apprenticeship model. And within that you would discuss it so nicely that we give us the chance to interact with you, that help us to remind this model. That means I think this model will help us to remember it, and also it will help us to write down the question paper or answer sheet in the exams also. You have clarified so nicely this model to us. That's well, today's class. And lastly, you just sum of us about everything that we have continuously learning from the last 2 hours. That's a nice class. I think one of the nice class. And thanks for taking it.
Thank you all for your interaction. Really, this is very interactive class. Okay, Chandra Narayan.
Explanation. Thank you, madam.
Yes. Okay. And also thank you, Jitendra Nayak, because very comprehensive way like giving a report or reporting. You have completed all the steps. I think mindfully you all have listened to me. Thank you for that, and for your participation only. Today's class was also went well, and I think we will discuss all the blocks because learning is important, because we are discussing the learning process only, and here we must give emphasis because you all are also learning from this class. So learning is important, not completing the course. So whatever is important, we'll give emphasis to that points in our discussion, and whatever you can refer by yourself, we'll touch that points in the further classes. So I found some what new concept in this. So I have taken only 1 year, and don't worry, I will complete all the things that is there in your book. And definitely what Jitendra has told, it will help you to write in your exam also. If you will participate in the class here, you will ask your doubt. These things will be in your mind. So at the time of exam, you will revise the paper, you can write well, and also it will help you to design you will develop instructional design by following these models, because these are very practical things and we all are applying. Many researches has been conducted on these things. So thank you all. Any doubt in this? Anyone? Anyone
Thank you,
want to
madam.
ask?
Thank you, madam, for your Clear, clarity of all the matters regarding um,
Thank you, Rajendra. Thank you. Okay, any doubt? You go through the material seriously because it is different. All are not acquainted with educational technology, and you have chosen that paper. And this is very new thing in this digital era. You all go through this seriously because once you will listen, you will forget. If you go through the material after this only, you can remember the major point that will be helpful later on. Okay, so we will wind up with this. Our time has also covered. So thank you all again. Thank you all for your participation.
thank you, ma'am.
Okay, we'll leave now.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you, madam. କୁଆଡେ ଯାଇଥିଲୁ?